Welcome to the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. I'm Lauren Hill, joined by Ken Oda and Edward Nieman, and we are getting you ready for Game 2 against Aberdeen here in the Mesa. So last night we shut out Aberdeen, winning 4-0, and I'm expecting a good turnout in the Mesa, as well as the Wings to come out hot tonight as they look to split this weekend. Hopefully they do not. But how are we feeling about tonight's game based on the performance we had here last night?
Last night was a bit of a surprise. We talked about how heated this rivalry can get. We definitely saw that part. What we didn't see was a very competitive game on the ice. Tauros outshot Aberdeen, I believe, 38-14. Outscored them 4-0. The game was never really in question. For the most part, it was played almost entirely in the Aberdeen zone. That's pretty unusual for a Tauros and Wings game, and I would expect that to change a little bit tonight, though hopefully the Tauros still stay on the right side of the scoreboard.
Yeah, Lauren, the Tauros have had quite a few really good wins this year, but I think this one's arguably all around one of their best performances in all facets of the game. Will Mazenko, his first start here at the Pepsi rink, and saving 14 of 14. Offense did their job, got the Tauros on the board early, and never really looked back. So I think a big confidence booster for the Tauros as they head into tonight's game.
Yeah, speaking about last night, let's look at the highlights of last night's win.
Yeah, Lauren, it was quite a few of Toro returners, at least in the scoring department. John Small got his 10th of the year, along with Jack O'Hannison in the first period to get the Toros a 2-0 lead at the first break. Then it was Ian Spencer tacking one on in the second and also one in the third. So a 2-goal performance from Ian Spencer last night. Good for his 7th and 8th goals on the year. Toros got the crowd into it early and really never looked back, Ken.
Yeah, we talked about it last week when we started this 4-game homestand. Ian Spencer loves to play in this building. That continues. John Small's been a key piece all year with points in almost every game. And, of course, Jack O'Hannison, talked about it yesterday on the Farmers Union pregame show. Good numbers against Aberdeen last season. That continues with a goal and an assist last night.
Now turning our attention back to tonight's game, let's look at the updated Noodles numbers brought to you by Noodles and Company of Minot. So with last night's win, we are at 10-5-1 as Aberdeen is at 11-5-0. Aberdeen also fell to 4th in the division as they were 3rd last night. We again head-to-head with this first time playing them just this season in general, and we have so far that 1-0 head against them. We kind of hit on it yesterday. Goals against goals for was exactly the same. It was 3.13. Now with the win and the shutout last night, ours has increased and theirs has decreased.
Yeah, the numbers all favor the Tauros. Tauros not giving up much, under 2 goals a game now thanks to the shutout. Still scoring over 3 a game. Aberdeen's numbers, again, not terrible by any means, but certainly not as dramatic of a difference as the Tauros. And then you look at the special teams. Power play for the Tauros clicking along much better than the power play for the Wings. Wings didn't even get a chance to use their power play last night, and the penalty kills are about even.
Yeah, Kenny, the penalty minutes was a big thing that we talked about yesterday, at least with the Aberdeen Wings. Quite a few more penalty minutes, 270 versus the Tauros, 112 penalty minutes. Tauros, special teams been a big part of that, their success this year. And also coming into the series, the Wings were putting about 3 more shots on net, averaging than the Tauros. Tauros obviously take that away, and I think all signs point to another good performance tonight if they can continue to do that success that they had last night.
Yeah, hitting on that, we had 0 Tauros in a penalty box at all last night, so fun little stat there. But that will lead us to our Minotauros Booster Club players to watch, and I'll throw it to Ken to start with his player.
Yeah, I'm going to go Brandon Funk. He had an assist last night, and I thought maybe played his best game as a Toro. Looking for him to build on that tonight. Hopefully pop his first goal in the Cream and Cardinal. But yeah, he had several chances last night, and I thought worked well.
I'm going to take the newest Toro forward, Parker Newman, comes to the Toros via a trade with Anchorage. Is going to get some ice time tonight in his first game in a Toro uniform, in his first taste of Central Division hockey. 2 goals on 4 assists so far this year. I'm excited to see him out there, and I think, it's been a very successful forward group so far, really across the board for the Toros, and I'm just interested to see how he adjusts to the Central Division style of hockey.
Yeah, I think he's set up in a good position. He's on the wing of Small and Spencer. So if there's ever a chance to get set up for a good start to your Toro career.
It's that one right there, yeah. I love both of y'all's picks. I really do hope that both do awesome. I have chosen Brandon Funk multiple times. But my pick tonight is the Adam Mahler. He is a Minotauros veteran. He's seen this Aberdeen team multiple times, many of times. He had 6 shots on goal last night, but did not net one. And I think that tonight, with him being more of, I don't want to say an aggressive player, but he plays to his strengths. And I assume that Aberdeen's going to come into this game accumulating more penalty minutes than last night. So I can see Mahler getting one in the back of the net. And that will bring us to our home key group keys to the game. Ken, what are your keys to tonight's game?
Well, like last night, I think the Tauros need to not count their chickens, right? Last night's game was an easy game for the Tauros. Heavily outshot their opponent, almost 3-1. Outscored them 4-0, but last night's game was easy. Don't assume tonight's game will be. Leo Bulgakov, the Wings' leading scorer, back in after being suspended for last night's game. That's going to be a boost to their offense right off the bat.
Yeah, again, and I think, if you're the Wings, you're looking for something to get going. Not a lot of momentum last night really at any part in the game. And I think, something as little as Bulgakov being back in the lineup could give this Aberdeen team a boost, especially straight out of the gates. I think the start's going to be important in this one.
Second key to the game, fly the coop. The Tauros got out of their own zone really well last night. Minimal time pinned in their own zone. There were maybe 2 shifts total all night long that the Tauros had to play in their own zone for a long period of time. Keep that up. Get out of your zone cleanly. Get back on the attack. And the last one, no wild goose chases. Focus on scoring goals, not settling scores. We saw that game get chippy in the second half of the second period, really in the third period. Even though the whistles came out, the Wings didn't behave themselves anyway. So we'll see if that continues, if they try and get the Tauros off their game. Don't start running around trying to hit people. Don't start running around trying to settle scores after the whistle. Just work on putting the puck in the back of the goal.
Yeah, Kenny, look at the Tauros schedule. Long term, they're going to hit the road next weekend to Forest Lake to take on the Mallards. It's a favorable schedule upcoming. If the Tauros are healthy, I think those games should be a little easier than if you're going to go into those on the road missing a couple people.
For sure.
All right, Minotauros fans, it's time to take out your phones and pull up the Tauros mobile app for your chance to win prizes throughout tonight's game. Starting with our 4 Bears Sportsbook over-unders. Our first one is total Tauros shot differential. Are we going over/under plus 5.5?
I'm going to take the over here. Tauros outshot the Wings by over 20 last night. I don't think it'll be that dramatic tonight, but I would still expect the Tauros to outshoot the Wings the way last night looked.
Yeah, Ken, I'm also going to take the over. I do think things will tighten up, especially with Bulgakov back in the lineup. But I think the Tauros obviously really didn't show us any signs why they can't do what they did last night again. But like I said, perhaps maybe a little closer.
Yeah, I'm going to go over. I think, again, like with what Ken and Edward just said, we had about, 38 shots on goal as they had 14. I think, like Ken said, it's not going to be that drastic, but I do think it is going to be at least 5. If not 6. So our next one is total special team goals over/under 0.5. I'm going to go over on this one. I think we have the momentum to come into this game and score fast as we do here when we're home at the Mesa Arena and the Pepsi rink. So yeah, I'm going over.
I don't mean to, take all the chalks, but I'm also going to take over as well, and I think it's just going to be more of a numbers thing, right? I wouldn't be surprised that Aberdeen commits, quite a few penalties, especially maybe in the later stages of this game if the Tauros do get on the board early. So I think they're going to have plenty of opportunities, and obviously the Toro power play unit has been successful so far this year.
Well, I guess I'm the outlier. I'm going to take the under. Same officiating crew as last night. We didn't see whistles come out until the third period. Typically, when we've seen referee Clay here in this building, we haven't seen a lot of power plays granted in either direction. I think we're going to have another night where there's not a lot of opportunities. When there's not a lot of opportunities, less likely that you're going to cash in. So I'll take the under on the special teams goals.
All right, and our last one is total combined penalty minutes over/under 10.5.
I'm going to take the over on this one, kind of what I mentioned. I think just depending on how things go, especially early in this game, might maybe change that number a little bit, but I'm going to take the over.
I'm going to go over as well. Like I said, with my player to watch, I think there will be more tussling than there was last night, and there was plenty last night. And I think, over is definitely an easy one there.
I know this seems weird given what I just said about the special teams goals, but I have a feeling we're going to see the over on this, not because of a lot of power plays, but remember, a single misconduct penalty is 10 minutes. I wouldn't be shocked if we see one of those. That should push us over by itself. That'll bring us to the McDonald's Tauros trivia question. This one goes back in Toro history. Who was the first Toro to have a hat trick against the Aberdeen Wings? Your options: Chase LaPinta, Reed Stephenson, Keenan Lund, and Zach Bross. Any guesses?
None of these names stick out to me, but I'm liking Chase LaPinta. I think that's a fun name, so I'm going to go for that.
I'm going to sit out on this one. I do know the answer just from the prep before. But yeah, get your guesses in and yeah.
Chance to win a free lunch from our friends at Dakota Drive McDonald's and a stay and play package from our friends at Four Bears. A bunch of other interactive games in the mobile app as well, so make sure you download that Tauros Hockey mobile app and check in to win in all the other games you can play as well.
All right, and Ken, Edward, do you have any final thoughts on tonight's game against Aberdeen?
I'm just expecting another good effort from the Tauros and hopefully another win as we set into the easier portion of our schedule, so to speak.
I think what Ken just said, you get 2 wins over your rivals. You come into a more favorable part of the schedule ahead. Bodes well for the Tauros. I think tonight it's just going to be getting out of here healthy and getting out of here with everyone intact and, yeah, moving on.
All right, well, that will do it for the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. Now we'll turn it over to Josh Carlock for tonight's starting lineup.